Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have these really fun spinner cards to share with you guys, so let's jump right in. So I am going to start by ink blending on my panel. This is an A2 size panel, so it's 4¼ by 5½. Honestly though, you could cut it in half for what we're doing here. I wasn't totally sure how much I needed, so I used just a full panel. I cut my cardstock in advance. This is my favorite HammerMill that's really smooth, and it's my preferred for blending. And I'm going to go in with picked raspberry, carved pumpkin, and squeezed lemonade on this one specifically. The colors really don't matter. If you saw the opening picture, it covers, like, we're going to use holographic paper later to cover the butterfly bodies. So the colors are not super important, but I just pick colors that I really enjoy. That's kind of always what I do. So pick whatever colors you really enjoy and work with those. Of course, you guys know I love my oxides. They are my preferred for ink blending at any time, but you can bust out any inks that you have on hand. Distress inks are also really pretty, and the blend doesn't matter here. You're just trying to get some color down on the cardstock so that we can die cut the butterflies later. So I've done those 3 colors on this panel. I'm going to do a second panel. I'm only making 2 cards here. You have enough from this one panel to do more than 2, but I find with interactive cards, they're kind of more time consuming, so I tend to do fewer of them in the video just because they take way more time to create. So for my second blend, I'm going to do Twisted Citron, Broken China, and Wilted Violet. Again, you can pick any colors that you like. Keep in mind, though, that Twisted Citron and Wilted Violet don't play well together necessarily. They are going to create kind of a bit of a muddy color because purple and yellow are complementary colors. So those two together will create a brownish, grayish, muddy color, and Twisted Citron is a very yellowy green. So they're going to do that here too. I don't mind it. It just kind of created some interest in my butterfly's body. And again, like I said, you're going to cover it with that holographic paper. So it really doesn't matter if you don't get a beautiful blend here. Just be aware that sometimes colors make funny colors together. That's how color theory works. But you can kind of see where the purple and the green are touching. It is a little bit of an odd color, but it doesn't matter. Not for this specific card design. So as always, I'm going to have everything that is available linked and listed down below. I always do every video. This is a stamp from Honeybee Stamps. I don't know if it is still available. I've had it in my stash quite a while. Just find a fun, full background stamp. And it honestly, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a pattern, it could be stripes, it could be literally anything you want. Tim Holtz has some great ones that are full images. You know, like whatever stamp you have on hand that is a bigger stamp, use that. Because all we're doing here is creating texture and interest in the panel that's going to be where the butterfly is spinning in the front. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. But like I said, there's no rhyme or reason here. Just whatever stamp you have on hand. Polka dots would probably be really cute for this as well. Or florals, just whatever you have on hand. So this happens to be the vintage Flora stamp. Again, like I said, if it's still available, I will have it linked in the description as always. And if it isn't, I try to find stuff on like eBay and whatnot for people who are seriously interested. I have had people be really bummed about Tim Holtz dies that I've used in the past and not be available. So I always try my best to find something you guys can purchase if it's something you're looking for. Now I brought in my nested circle dies. And I also have the Tim Holtz Detailed Butterfly mini dies here. So I am trying to find a circle die that fits over the butterfly where the butterfly has the room to spin without touching the circle that we're going to cut around it. So it has to have that room, whatever shape you pick. It doesn't have to be a butterfly. That's just what I'm choosing because I love butterflies. But it could be, I've done it with a snowflake before. It could be like a flower. It could be a star. Anything that you can line up on both sides and have it look really pretty. That's kind of the aim. Now I'm using highlighter tape here. This was actually sent to me by one of my amazing viewers. She sent it to my PO box so I could try it out because I was having a really hard time with low tack tape. It was just ripping everything I used it on. So she sent this to me and it actually works pretty well. So thank you so much. I've been using that instead when I have to tape things down, which I don't often need to do, but for this you kind of do because you need the circle to be in the exact same spot on the panel as it is on the card front, or like the panel and the base, you need the circle to be in the same spot so that you can easily line them up later, because the spinner has to go all the way through to the inside of the card. Otherwise, it can't spin when you open the card. So that's kind of the idea. So I cut the two together. It cuts through the first layer, and then I have an indent where I need it to cut through on the second layer. And that's kind of how I've always done it. I will show you on both card fronts just so you can see it, in case the first time it was a little bit confusing. So I line up the two cards, the inked panel and the card base. Then I tape the panel to the card base to make sure it can't move. And then I will also tape the circle die to the card panel as well, which then I run through my die cutting machine. You guys know, if you've been with me for any length of time, I have a Sizzix Big Shot Switch, I believe is what it's called. It's a automatic machine, and I love it. It saves me so much time because I die cut a lot. So I love that machine. But this is kind of the easiest way I've found to create spinner cards. There may be other techniques out there that work. This is what I have found works, and it's just the easiest way to do it. So then I pop off all of what's stuck on the top layer of the panel. And you did see me bring in the pink one as well, just to see if I've got them lined up. It doesn't matter if you don't. Generally, cards don't go to the same people unless, I've had people buy sets of cards, but even then they're not sending it to the same person, so it doesn't really matter. But I do try to get them as close as I can. And then I'm going to run the base back through with that die again. And that creates my spinner element that I'm going to have my butterfly spin in. So the card base and the card front are pretty much made. This one did cut off just a touch. It's not going to matter though, because we're going to create a little circle that's going to go around. So I brought in some holographic cardstock. This specific one is from Michaels. And I have switched my scrapbook.com mat to a magnetic mat, so I don't have to adhere anything. And then I also put the detail layer of my butterfly in the center. This is cut to I believe 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. That was the size I needed for it to go around. And then I just used the leftover center with that butterfly. And I mean, you could save that other scrap piece. It's a circle with a butterfly in it. It's kind of cool. This is where you don't need this whole huge panel. These butterflies are not as big as I thought they were. I don't know what I was thinking. You could cut this panel in half and have ink blended, but that's okay. Now here, this one didn't cut all the way through properly, so I just grabbed my scissors and I'm just going to trim the wing that got stuck. You could run it back through your die cutting machine if you wanted to, but sometimes it doesn't line up and then it cuts into an area that it's not supposed to, and that makes me even more irritated. So I just, trimmed it with my scissors. And then you're going to run it back through again. This is going to create the front and the back of the butterfly that's going to spin, because you do need both layers colored. Otherwise, you would just have a white layer. So you need 4. I have 2 different butterflies here, right? Because I have a slightly wider butterfly and a slightly narrower butterfly. That's what comes in that set with Tim Holtz. And it also comes with that really pretty detail layer that I have cut out of the holographic. But as I was saying, the holographic specifically comes from Michaels, because I'm Canadian. We don't have like Hobby Lobby or anything. And I don't link to that because I can't link to Michaels. So I linked you guys to the closest holographic cardstock that I think is similar. So just keep that in mind. If you have a Michaels near you, you can go and check out their holographic cardstock and see if you like it as much as I like it. I assume the American is similar to the Canadian. I don't know that for sure, but I assume that it is. But if not, you can order it online, and it is fairly similar. It's not quite as shiny as the one I have, but it is decently similar, so keep that in mind. Now I'm going to cut the card front down here because I want a white border all the way around. You don't have to do this if you'd prefer to have it be the full card front. I cut about 1/4 of an inch. I cut it in 8ths though. I cut like 1/8 of an inch off of each side, which equates 1/4 of an inch off each side, or off 2 sides, because I want it to be centered. So you have to be careful with that circle because you want the circle to stay centered. So don't cut it all off of one side. Then for my spinner element, I have a piece of, you can't really see it, it's white thread that goes in a sewing machine, that type. You can also use fishing wire if you have it. I don't have any, so I just use this white thread. You guys can't really see it, but I promise there is a piece of thread there. And I've adhered it to the center of the butterfly. Then I adhere the other side of the butterfly onto the butterfly so that it's double-sided, and then that string is glued into the center. So I'm not worried about it slipping out as the spinner works. So here you can kind of, I don't know how well you guys can see that there is that white thread there, but I promise it's there. It's just difficult to see on camera. We're going to do the exact same thing to the second butterfly. I use liquid glue for this just because I find that it grabs the thread better. You could use double-sided adhesive if you wanted to. I don't. I use double-sided adhesive when I'm going to adhere the card together. I use it to hold the thread there, but I find personally that I have better luck with the liquid adhesive to do this step, but completely use what you have. And I mean, experiment. Maybe it doesn't work for me, but it would work beautifully for you if that's your preferred. You could use tape runner, that kind of stuff. I just find liquid glue easier for this kind of shape because it lets me slide it around and make sure that it is in the right spot so that I'm not worried about it, coming apart as I'm waiting for it to adhere. And then I do just push on the center to make sure that that is going to stay adhered to where I have placed it. Now we're going to start building the actual spinner element. So I have everything pretty much ready. I'm going to use my double-sided adhesive to adhere the string into the card base. Hopefully this all makes sense. If any step of this doesn't make sense, leave me a comment with any kind of questions you have. I do respond to all comments. Sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to get back to you guys, but I always answer your questions. So if you have any, leave me the question and I will happily try to explain it better if this isn't really making sense. So then I try to center the butterfly, and here you should be able to hopefully see the string a little bit easier, and I'm going to push it into that double-sided tape. Then I'm going to add another piece of double-sided tape on top to make sure that string actually stays there, because I don't want it to let go, because then your whole spinner aspect would fall apart. So that it really wouldn't keep it there. So that's just kind of a trick I have found that helps. I nestle the string in between two pieces of double-sided tape, and then I do actually kind of push it in as well, just to make sure it's likely to stay there. I am also going to bring in one more piece of double-sided tape just to adhere that tail. Don't go past where your card front is going to go though, because remember I did cut it down a little bit, so it is going to show if you haven't covered or if you've gone too far down, that piece won't hide behind there. But this is kind of the easiest way I find to keep everything in place and not have it shift around. Then I'm going to bring in the card panel, and I'm going to use liquid glue for this. I am going to put liquid glue on the double-sided tape as well, so that it allows me to slide the panel to where I need it to be. Because I need that circle to match up, I need that double-sided tape not to grab my panel before I'm ready for it to actually be stuck down. So that's just kind of an extra layer to help me make sure that I don't get, the card panel not straight in the hole. I mean, if you don't have it perfectly straight with the layer, it doesn't really matter. People don't generally notice that. I mean, I would, because I'm the person making it, but as a general, nobody notices if your card panel's not perfectly straight, so that don't worry about that. And then we are going to add that extra holographic circle that I made with 2 of the circle die cuts that are just going to kind of go around and frame the butterfly. It just adds a little bit of something extra. And you could leave off the detail layer if you wanted to here too. Like, this is already incredibly pretty. If you don't want to add that detailed layer to the butterfly, you wouldn't have to. Like, this is a beautiful card right here. Now, do this step before I did. If I had stuck this down before I did all the layers, this would have been way easier to line up, but I didn't. So you're going to see my trick. I added adhesive, then I hold it up to the window, and then I lay it down and adhere it so that it's in the right spot behind the window. You could skip this step too if you wanted to. It's just kind of a fun detail because we do have that cutout. So it just kind of completes the whole image. But like I said, you could just leave the background white and it would just help the butterfly pop even more if that's your preference. But once we add that holographic cardstock on top of the butterfly, I find that the butterfly pops beautifully. So it doesn't really matter if there's some texture behind it, but whatever works for you and whatever you're creating if you've used different elements to what I have here. So then I am going to go and cut the string now. Everything's pretty well adhered. I do gently pull the string a little bit to make it taut so that it's easier to trim, but be careful that you're not, going to rip it or you're pulling on it too hard and it's going to damage your spinner element. So just go slow, be gentle. It should come out pretty easily. I've never personally used fishing line, but I have heard that you can, so keep that in mind if you have some. Now I'm going to adhere this detailed layer. I did take my craft pick and poke out all the little bits. I didn't show you guys that because I figure you've seen me do it before. And I just am going to add little dabs of glue randomly all over the area. I'm going to put this one on the back. So the back detail one, I'm going to adhere flat. The front detail layer, I'm only going to adhere the body of the butterfly so that the wings have a little bit of lift. Just be careful with this because it can catch in the back if you actually lift them up. So as it spins around, if the person hasn't opened the card fully, it kind of catches. So just keep that in mind. It just gives it a little bit of texture. If you're at all concerned about that though, you could adhere both completely flat and that would work as well. This is just a personal preference. I like the wings to sit up a little. I think that it looks really pretty. So, but you know, there's no right or wrong in creating. So, you know, do what works for you and what makes you happy. That is the goal. You guys know, if you've been with me for any length of time, my goal is always to just enjoy crafting. You know, when you sit down to make something, I want it to be a fun experience. Now, I'm not saying you won't get frustrated. New techniques can definitely be frustrating, but hopefully it is bringing you joy because that is the aim. So I'm going to adhere, or I'm not going to adhere, I'm going to stamp a sentiment here. This is from the Tim Holtz Perspective stamp. This is a new one for me. I actually purchased the red rubber version of this after I used the butterflies in a card last week. And I love this sentiment. I think it's great. Live your dreams with passion is pretty much, you know, what I'm doing here. So hopefully, you know, it kind of resonates. I did bring in my white gel pen. As you kind of saw on the pink one, the ink kind of smeared a bit. So I used my white gel pen to clean that up. And then on this one with the shaded lilac, it's a little bit harder to read. So I brought in my white gel pen and kind of went through the word dream and just made it a lot easier to read. It's not terribly difficult, but it is a little more difficult than the one that's on spun sugar, which is here. So I just added that little bit of white into the word. I just think it added some interest. I really like it. It's not a necessary step, but I like to play with all the goodies. So, and then this one as well is not a necessary step. However, I love splatter and shiny things. So I did add a little bit of my perfect pearls that I keep mixed up in a mini mister bottle. And I splattered that across the card front just for a little bit of extra shimmer and shine, which you will see here as I lift it up. You'll kind of see that shimmer that's just subtly in the background and just adds a little bit of something extra. So that is these cards. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I did create these because there was some questions about interactive cards for this month's challenge. So hopefully this has given you another idea as well as the shaker cards that I made in the video at the beginning of the month. So hopefully they kind of, you know, give you something fun to create. And if you've never made one like this, it is really fun. I'm going to spin it up here so you can kind of see what would happen if you spun it up and then put it in an envelope and then the recipient opens it, what would happen. I just think it's such a fun way to receive a card. And I think that the holographic catching the light is just beautiful. So hopefully it's kind of fun. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a butterfly in your comments. I would love to know who stays through the videos because that is a big part of supporting the channel. Leaving the video early does kind of YouTube like documents that. So it is nice to know who stays all the way through. Thank you guys so much. I hope you'll leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. And thank you so much to my members. You guys are amazing. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye for now.